Hello friends and welcome to my YouTube channel Simply Stocks, and today I'm going to talk about aksh optifibre, one of the shares that has been beaten down to pulp at the moment, and whether you should buy at these levels or not, let's discuss. So let's get started. First of all, a disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation. People taking any position into any share that I talk about should do that with their own due diligence and research, and I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. So now about aksh optifibre. The company was established in 1986 and they produce optic fiber for internet networking. So they are mainly producers of hardware products for internet like modems and optic fiber, etc. Uh, and the company went into prominence when government announced in 2014-15 that they'll have a make in India project which will propel or help companies that are producing products, goods and products in India. Plus, they had a plan to have the Indian economy to be digitally sound and more digitally savvy, and that eventually came up with the point that internet would have to grow, and it was not the same in 2013-14 as it is today, and internet was not so fast as it is today. And so government did do a lot of things, but has it done enough over the last 4 or 5 years? I'll discuss that later on in this presentation. But the initial fillip in the stock was because of these two major reasons. So the stock jumped 4 to 5 times from its lows of 2012-13, which was around 11-12 rupees. Now schemes and numbers have gone pear-shaped since. So what I'm trying to say here is that from 2015 to 17 there were a lot of efforts made in order to bring more projects into this digital India platform and in the Make in India scheme, and things were going nicely, but eventually it had to hit road bumps because of the heavy debt that the Indian government was having and the current account deficit. And when the oil prices changed shapes and the CAD or the current account deficit started to balloon, Make in India campaign and the Digital India campaign took a back seat, and government had to cut its spending into different projects, be it infrastructure, capital goods, or in these types of schemes as I just mentioned. And eventually companies like aksh optifibre got hurt because of it. So when we talk about the numbers, the sales have been down year on year. I'm taking June quarter 2019 numbers and comparing it to 2018 June. The sales are down 31%. The company from a profit of 8.8 crores has gone into losses and had a loss of 5 crores on the bottom line. The company has low debt, which is a positive to an extent, that the debt has reduced year on year, but the stock has been hammered to oblivion. So the stock is trading at, I think, around 7 or 8 rupees at the moment, which is ridiculously cheap for a stock that is into you can say internet hardware business. But then you have to take into account as to whether the company is in the right trajectory when it comes to profitability and sales, which it is not. So it's a tricky decision whether these valuations are good or not. So the numbers looks like will remain subdued for the next year or so, with the Indian economy in such a state that it is today. So why did the stock fell? First we have to understand that, and then only we can make a decision whether to go for the stock or what needs to be done. So the manufacturing slowdown in India has taken a toll on every industry, not only automobile. And so textile industry, the telephony industry, as I just mentioned, as well as automobiles has been hit badly. And so there is very less manufacturing that is taking place, and the reason for that is there is very little demand for manufactured products such as the optic fibers, etc. Geo, with its best fiber optic network, has just come into play, with this Geo internet for homes, and that's a Wi-Fi internet for homes, and they have their own back-end operation. So it is not that they are going to give businesses to companies like Aksh Optifibre or Sterlite Technologies or of that sort. So they have their own back-end operations and their own optic fiber network, and it seems like Geo will take over all the businesses altogether. So companies like Airtel, which used to, or Reliance Communication, which used to provide internet facilities, or even for that matter BSNL and MTNL in metros, used to do that very efficiently. And now it seems that Geo will take over all their businesses and will have the market share more or less like a monopoly over the next few years, and they do not require a third party integration in terms of hardwares, and they have their own business of hardware as well. So in that regard, Aksh Optifiber is going to lose out even more. Decline in foreign orders is another reason, that they used to have plentiful of foreign orders from South America, Africa, and East Asia, but now they do not, because of the slowdown in these economies. The valuations have been lofty. I mean, till December 2017, when the small cap index reached its peak, Aksh Optifiber also went to something like 23, 24 rupees. And now, when you see that their EPS is now going into negative, and now see, it seems like FY18 numbers are extremely, or FY18 stock price, or the 2017 December stock price looks extremely expensive. Now that the stock is trading at 7 or 8 rupees, whether it is expensive or not, anybody can take a guess, but then the company would need to come back into profitability. The prospects of a recovery in the economy as well as in this stock looks bleak for its business, and this is because the slowdown has come not only in the economy but also in the government spending. So the government push for digital India, you're not hearing that a lot, or for Make in India projects, or for that matter, on any of that sort, is not happening that much. So unless things change on the ground, it looks difficult that the numbers for the stock would come in and their business would prop up. Hence, in my opinion, even at 8 rupees, even with a PE of around 8 or 9, with the kind of stock price at the moment between 5 and 8 rupees, it is an avoid, because this will take time to recover. The economy would take time to recover. The valuations are still stretched, and hence you have to understand that when the company has gone into losses, so even at 8 rupees, the valuations look very much stretched, and there are better options available in other sectors. So you're not bound to be investing in companies like Sterlite Tech or Shopify Fiber, or that matter of these types, and hence you can look at other consumption companies or IT, and you can say export oriented companies as well. You need to let the numbers come in, and the work on ground needs to be done. So the numbers have to come in before you would invest in these companies, and the competition between Geo and these companies would also take toll on the numbers going forward. Hence, this is an avoid. So this was my video on Aksh Optifiber. Please like and subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon so that you can get my videos straight away when I post it. Thanks a lot for watching.